Welcome to the class, students. I am here to teach you chapter 10, Reaching the Age of Adolescence. Let's warm up. Given below are some developmental states of human being. With the help of your teacher, write the age group that best suits each stage. So students, look here we have development stage, age group. So students, you have to write the age group here. Let's know about puberty, change during puberty. It begins from the day one is born. Human beings span through 4 states of growth: infancy, childhood, adolescence, and adulthood. The rate of growth is different in each stage. It also varies from one individual to another. So student, human being के डेवलपमेंट की 4 स्टेज होती है. हर एक स्टेज का टाइम पीरियड भी अलग होता है और रेट ऑफ डेवलपमेंट भी डिफरेंट होता है. Here we have puberty. Puberty is the period of onset of sexual maturity in humans. During this stage, both the male and female reproductive organs become functional, making the individuals capable of reproduction. Reproduction may not be crucial for an individual's survival, but is essential for the continuation of species on the earth. Nature has devised ways by which a child gradually transforms to an adolescent and from an adolescent to an adult. The period of transition or change of a child into an adult human being is called adolescence. Let us discuss a few changes which happens during adolescence, the age which puberty sets in. So students, अगर हम puberty की बात करें तो puberty वो time period होता है जब एक human being sexually mature हो जाता है. That means वो reproduction करने के capable हो जाता है. That is puberty. और जब वो पीरियड ऑफ ट्रांजिशन जब हम चाइल्ड से एडल्ट ह्यूमन बीइंग बनते हैं उसको हम एडोलसेंस बोलते हैं. चेंज ड्यूरिंग प्यूबर्टी. On an average, girls reach puberty at the age of 10 to 15 years and boys around 12 to 16 years. This may vary depending on the climatic conditions of a place and genetic factors. All this time, the following changes can be seen. So students, average age girls की 10 to 12, boys की 10 to 15 होती है. Now we are going to discuss about some other changes. Change in physical appearance. There is a sudden increase in the length of the bones of the legs and the arms. In males, the shoulders broaden, the chest widens, and there is increase in muscle mass. In females, the part of the body below the waistline becomes wider, the hips broaden, and the breast develops. Milk secreting glands or the mammary glands develop in the breast. So students, these are some changes we can see in the bodies of males and females during puberty. Here we have an activity. Activity 1. The following charts give the average rate of growth in height of boys and girls with age. The figures in column given the percentage of the height a person has reached at the age in column 4. Use the table and calculate the full height of a man. So student, look here. You have to take the calculations from this table and write the height of a man. Here we have an activity 2. Use the data given in the first activity to draw a graph. Take age on the x-axis and percent growth in height on the y-axis. Highlight the point representing your age on the graph. Find out the percentage of height you have already reached. Calculate the height you might actually reach. So students, you might eventually reach. So students, look at this graph. That's how you have to draw this graph from the information which we have in activity 1. And you have to note down the actual height of yours and the age group of yours. Change in voice pattern. Males develop larger voice boxes or larynx which makes their voice deeper. The large voice box in males is often seen as a protruding structure and is referred to as Adam's apple. The females on the other hand have a high pitched voice. So student, ये voice में difference आता है हमारे development के साथ. क्या कि girls की voice जो है वो high pitch होती है, boys की voice जो है वो deeper हो जाती है. Do you know? Adolescents eat much less to remain slim and look attractive. This makes them vulnerable to various diseases. Activity of the sweat and sebaceous glands. The sweat producing glands, the oil glands or the sebaceous glands get activated and produce more of their secretion. There is also development of a characteristic body odor and frequent manifestation of acne, especially on the face. सो स्टूडेंट्स, ये ग्लैंड्स भी क्या होती हैं, डेवलपमेंट स्टेज में एक्टिव हो जाती हैं और ज्यादातर क्या होता है कि एक्ने हो जाते हैं. A few glands such as sweat gland, oil gland and salivating gland releases their secretions through ducts. Endocrine glands release hormones. directly into the bloodstream, so they are called ductless glands. So students, कुछ glands हमारी ऐसी हैं जो blood में जो है directly hormones release करती हैं, तो वो क्या है, ductless glands है. Here look at the pictures. We have Adam's apple in a grown up boy. Development of typical hair pattern. At puberty, there is a growth of hair in the armpits and the pubic area. In males, there is development of facial hair, beard and moustache. So students, जैसे जैसे हम डेवलप्ड होते हैं एज के साथ, प्यूबर्टी एज में हेयर पैटर्न भी चेंज होता है. बॉयज को फेशियल हेयर आते हैं, बियर्ड आती है, तो वो सब किस एज में होता है, प्यूबर्टी एज. नाउ वी हैव चेक एंड मेड. You can do it by yourself as we already read about these things. Development of sex organs. The sex organs are present in infant stage also. It is only during the adolescent period that the male and the female sex organs get developed completely. The testes, male gonads, start producing sperms and the ovaries, female gonads, start producing eggs. During the adolescent stage, the boys and the girls became capable of reproduction. So student, adolescence age में क्या होता है, sex organ भी develop होते हैं. Now, change in behavior, attitude and reaching emotional maturity. Adolescence is a period when one is learning rapidly, imbibing value and forming opinions. As such, there is a shift from behavior depicting dependence towards a more independent attitude. It may at times be associated with insecurity or anxiety, which is soon overcome if one understand the reason behind such change. So students, इस एज में हमारे behavior में भी बहुत चेंज आता है, एटीट्यूड, हमारे इमोशंस चेंज, तो बहुत सारे चेंज आपके बिहेवियर में भी देखने को मिलते हैं. Secondary sexual characters. The characters in individuals that distinguish the males from the females are known as secondary sexual characters. The development of mustaches and beards, hair on the chest and development of Adam's apple are considered as secondary sexual characters of the human male. Similarly, the development of breasts, a typical voice and hair pattern on the body and wider hip region are some of the secondary sexual characters of the females. So students, ये males और females के secondary sexual characters हैं. Here, secondary sexual characters, the changes which occur during adolescence are controlled by hormones. Hormones are chemical substances. These are secreted from endocrine glands or endocrine system. The male hormone or testosterone begins to be released by the testes at the onset of puberty. This causes change in boys about the growth of facial hair. Once puberty is reached in girls, ovaries begins to produce the female hormones or estrogen makes the breast develop. Milk secreting glands or mammary glands develop inside the breast. The production of these hormones is under the control of another hormone secreted from an endocrine gland called pituitary gland or master gland. So students, कुछ hormones हमारी body में produce किए जाते हैं, किसके द्वारा, हमारे endocrine system और endocrine gland के द्वारा. उसकी वजह से हमारी body में काफी ज़्यादा changes आते हैं during puberty. Calculation of full height in centimeters. The calculation of full height of any child or man may be calculated by applying the following formula. Present height in centimeters, percentage of full height at this stage, multiply by 100. Example, a boy is 10 years old and 150 centimeter tall. At the end of the growth period, what is he likely to be? Solution, 150 divided by 78 multiplied by 100 centimeters is equals to 15,000 divided by 78 is equals to 192.3 centimeters. Now student, change at puberty. The most conspicuous change during puberty is the sudden increase in height. At this time, the long bones, that is the bones of the arms, legs, elongate and make a person tall. So student, puberty के time पे एकदम से height increase होती है, sudden increase होती है. ये सब आप लोगों ने अपनी लाइफ में भी देखा होगा. हमारे कुछ क्लासमेट्स होते हैं या कुछ फ्रेंड्स होते हैं जिनकी हाइट कम होती है, लेकिन अचानक से उनकी हाइट जो इंक्रीज हो जाती है. इट्स ड्यूरिंग द एज ऑफ प्यूबर्टी. Role of hormones in initiating reproductive function. Endocrine glands release hormones into the bloodstream to reach a particular body part called target site. The target site responds to the hormones. There are many endocrine glands in the body. The testes and the ovaries secrete sex hormones. The sex hormones are responsible for male and female. Secondary sexual characters are under the control of pituitary gland. The pituitary gland secretes many hormones, one of which make ovary mature in the ovaries and the sperms form in the testes. सो स्टूडेंट्स, ये सब क्या है, ये हॉर्मोन्स हैं जो हमारी बॉडी में रिलीज होते हैं और ये इनका फंक्शन है कि पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड से जो हार्मोन सीक्रेट होता है वो ओवम को मैच्योर कराता है, ओवरीज में स्पर्म्स की फॉर्मेशन होती है टेस्टिस में। Hormones from pituitary glands stimulate testes and ovaries to release testosterone and estrogen in males and females gradually, released in the bloodstream and reach parts of the body target site. Then stimulate change in the body at the onset of puberty. So student, this is the stage of change in hormones. The onset of puberty is controlled by hormones, mental, intellectual and emotional maturity. Adolescence brings a change in person's way of thinking. Adolescents want to be independent. Mental and physical change taking place during adolescence cause mood change. He finds a way to recognize and manage his or her emotion. Intellectual development takes place and adolescents spends considerable time in thinking. Maturity as adolescents make boys and girls interested in the opposite sex. Sometimes an adolescent may feel insecure while trying to adjust to the change in the body and mind. तो स्टूडेंट्स, अगर हम बात करें तो एडोलसेंट या प्यूबर्टी के टाइम में बहुत सारे चेंजेस बॉडी में होते हैं। वो मेंटली इमोशनली भी आपकी बॉडी में देखे जाते हैं। आप इंडिपेंडेंट होना चाहते हैं, आप लड़ाई झगड़ा करते हैं, आप बहुत ज्यादा एग्रेसिव बहुत बार हो जाते हैं। सो दीज आर द चेंजेस ड्यू टू द प्यूबर्टी। Various endocrine glands, their locations, the hormones secreted by them, and the functions performed by these hormones. Look here, students, we have gland, location, hormones secreted, function. The first we have pituitary gland, present in brain, a variety of hormones including growth hormone. Growth hormones cause a human body to grow. Hormones send signals to other organs, including them to secrete hormones. Then pancreas. In pancreas, secreted hormone insulin. It maintains a steady level of glucose or sugar in the blood and keeps the body supplied with sufficient fuel. Lack of insulin leads to diabetes, a condition where the level of sugar in blood increases. Then adrenal gland, above the kidney, adrenaline. It increases blood pressure and heart rate when the body experiences stress. It also helps the body to adjust to sudden stress. Then thyroid gland, neck region, thyroxine. It controls the rate at which food is oxidized by the cells to produce energy. Lack of thyroxine leads to goiter, a condition where a person has big and buzzing throat. Then gonads, first testes, below the abdomen, male sex hormones or androgens. Testosterone, one of the androgens, control the secondary sexual characters in males. So student, testes किसका hormone है? Males का. Now ovaries, below the abdomen, female sex hormones, prostogen and estrogen. Estrogen controls the secondary sexual characters in females. Prostogen maintains pregnancy. So student, ये दोनों hormones अलग अलग काम करते हैं. Now we have position of endocrine glands in the human body. So students, now we are going to read about the positions of endocrine glands. Here, look at this picture first. Position of endocrine glands in the human body. A person in which if the thyroid gland is not functioning properly, he may suffer from a disease called goiter. It means thyroid gland is not producing thyroxine hormones properly. If a man is suffering from diabetes, his pancreas is not producing sufficient amount of insulin. The adrenal gland secretes adrenaline. It helps the body to adjust stress when one is very angry, embarrassed or worried. तो स्टूडेंट, हर एक हार्मोन का एक अलग काम होता है, वो आपकी बॉडी में एक अलग फंक्शन परफॉर्म करता है. थायराइड एंड एड्रेनल ग्लैंड सीक्रेट द हार्मोन्स व्हेन दे गेट द इंफॉर्मेशन फ्रॉम द पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड. सो स्टूडेंट, ये दोनों ग्लैंड कब सीक्रेट करते हैं हार्मोन्स को? जब उन्हें एक इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड से. नाउ वी हैव रिप्रोडक्टिव हेल्थ. To keep the body healthy, an individual needs to have a balanced diet, observe personal hygiene, and undertake physical exercise. During adolescence, these needs become more essential as the body is growing. Any disease during adolescence period leads to retarded growth. So student, इस एज में आपने बहुत ध्यान रखना चाहिए, क्योंकि इस एज में आपका डेवलपमेंट एज होती है, डेवलपमेंट हो रहा होता है बॉडी का, तो आपको अपने खाने पीने का बहुत ज्यादा ध्यान रखना चाहिए. Reproductive phase of life in humans. Adolescents become capable of reproduction when their testes and ovaries begin to produce gametes. The capacity for maturation and production of gametes lasts for a much longer time in males than in females. So student, अगर हम बात करें, so time period males का ज्यादा होता है in comparison of females. In females, the reproductive phase of life begins at puberty 10 to 12 years and generally lasts till the age of approximately 45 to 50 years. The ova begin to mature with onset of puberty. One ova matures and is released by one of the ovaries once in about 28 to 30 days. During this period, the wall of uterus becomes thick so as to receive the egg in case it is fertilized. It begins to develop. This results in pregnancy. If fertilization does not occur, the released egg and thickened lining of the uterus along with its blood vessels are shed off. This causes bleeding in women, which is called menstruation. Menstruation occurs once in about 28 to 30 days. The first menstruation flow begins at the age of menstruation cycle at the age of puberty and is termed as menarche. At 45 to 50 years of age, the menstruation cycle stops. This stage is called menopause. Initially, menstrual cycle may be irregular. It takes some time to become regular. So students, अगर हम बात करते हैं फीमेल्स में, तो फीमेल्स की प्यूबर्टी एज 10 to 12 to 45 to 50 years होती है. उसमें उनकी बॉडी में काफी चेंजेस आते हैं. मेंस्ट्रुएशन साइकिल जो है वो प्यूबर्टी के एज से स्टार्ट होता है, 45 से 50 years की एज में वो बंद हो जाता है. नाउ वी हैव menstrual cycle is controlled by hormones. The cycle includes the maturation of the egg, its release, thickening of uterine wall, and its breakdown. If pregnancy does not occur, in case the egg is fertilized, it begins to divide and then gets embedded in the uterus for further development of fetus. So students, ये सारे changes होते हैं female body में. Now we have sex determination of a baby. In chapter 8, you have learned that a cell contains a nucleus in which thread-like structures called chromosomes are present. In human beings, each cell of the body contains 46 chromosomes or 23 pairs of chromosomes. Out of these, 22 pairs of chromosomes are common to both males and females and or called autosomes. So students, 23 pairs of chromosomes में से 22 pairs male और female body में same होते हैं. Only one pair of chromosomes called the sex chromosomes is different in males and females. The two chromosomes in this pair are denoted as X and Y. The sex of a human being is determined by the sex chromosomes. Females have XX chromosomes in every cell, while males have X chromosomes and a Y chromosomes. So students, female का chromosomes होते हैं XX और males के होते हैं XY. The gametes, the egg and the sperm have only 23 chromosomes. In the egg, out of 23 chromosomes, one is the X chromosomes. In the sperm, one of the 23 chromosomes can be either an X chromosomes or a Y chromosomes, never both. So students, क्या possibility है? देखो X तो होगा ही, उसके साथ X के साथ एक X भी हो सकता है या Y भी हो सकता है. So the possibilities we have female or male, XX, XY, XX, XY. Sex determination in human being. When sperm containing the X chromosomes fertilize the eggs containing the X chromosomes, the zygote formed will have two X chromosomes and will develop into a female child. When a sperm containing the Y chromosomes fertilize the egg containing the X chromosomes, the zygote formed will have one X chromosomes and one Y chromosomes and will develop into a male child. So students, male child के chromosomes XY होते हैं और female XX. Now, nutritional needs of an adolescent. The diet for an adolescent has to be balanced. It should include proteins, carbohydrates, fats, minerals, and vitamins in requisite proportions. Our meal of roti, rice, dal, and vegetable is a balanced diet. Milk is a balanced food. Fruits and green vegetables provide us vitamins and minerals. Iron is needed to make hemoglobin. Therefore, iron-rich foods such as leafy vegetables, jaggery, meat, citrus fruits and amla are good for adolescents. So students, इस एज में आपको बहुत अच्छी डाइट जो है लेनी चाहिए और हमें बहुत अच्छा खाना खाना चाहिए. Then physical exercise. During adolescence, boys and girls need to keep their body fit. Walking and playing in fresh air keep them fit and healthy. Young boys and girls should take walks, exercise and play outdoor games regularly. So student, आपको physical exercise करनी चाहिए. Personal hygiene. One should have bath daily. In teenagers, the increased activity of sweat glands make the body smelly. All parts of the body should be washed and cleaned up properly every day. Girls should take a special care of cleanliness during the time of menstrual flow. So students, these are some things you have to take care in your personal hygiene. Now, adolescent pregnancy. You might be knowing that in our country, the legal age of marriage is 18 years for girls and 21 years for boys. This is because teenage mothers are not prepared mentally or physically for motherhood. Early marriage and motherhood cause health problems in the mother and the child. It also curtails employment opportunities for the young woman, may cause mental agony as she is not ready for responsibilities of motherhood. So students, कम एज में माँ बनना it's not a good for health, also not for mental health. That's why India में जो शादी की एज है that is 18 for girls and 21 for boys. Say no to drugs. Adolescence is a period of much activity in the body and mind, which is a normal part of growing up. So do not feel confused or insecure. If anybody suggests that you will get relief if you take some drugs, you just say no unless prescribed by the doctor. Drugs are addictive. If you take them once, you feel like taking them again and again. They harm the body in the long run. They ruin health and happiness. You must have heard about AIDS, which is caused by dangerous virus HIV. This virus can pass on to a normal person from an infected person by sharing the syringe used for injecting drugs. It can also be transmitted to an infant from the infected mother through her milk. The virus can also be transmitted through sexual contact with a person infected with HIV. So students, you have to take care of yourself. What we learn in this chapter, now we are going to discuss it in a nutshell. The journey of life begins as a single celled structure. After that, it goes through a series of chains involving a rapid increase in mass and size. Humans become capable of reproduction after puberty sets in between the age of 11 years and 19 years. Children are called adolescents. The onset of puberty brings about growth of the reproductive organs. Hair grow at different parts of the body. Breasts develop in girls. Voice of boys become hoarse as voice box and large during adolescence. Children get height during adolescence. The onset of puberty and maturity of reproductive parts are controlled by hormones. Here we have some keywords. Adolescence, transitional phase of growth and development between childhood and adulthood. Estrogen, the primary female sex hormone. Thyroxine, the main hormone produced by the thyroid gland. Adam's apple, the projection in the front of the neck formed by the largest cartilage of the larynx. Thank you students. We will meet again in the next chapter. Till then, revise what we learned today.